Welcome back to MLive's Dungeon of Doom podcast. I'm sure all of you are thrilled. It is week two. The ugly opener is a thing of the past. We're moving forward. I'm Ben Raven. He is Kory Woods.
What up, though?
A lot. A lot. We're coming back with another midweek Mailbag podcast. Shout out to everybody on social media, our emails. We got a good mix of questions this week. You know, I was a little worried it was going to be, why does the offense suck? And then just 25 different versions of that. But you guys spaced it up pretty well. But I'm feeling a little better. We all came back from Green Bay with some head colds and stuff like that. Friend of the show, Colton Pouncey, just put some oil of oregano down my throat for me. And terrible experience, but I'm cured. That is not a CDC-approved message, but I'm feeling cured.
Oil of oregano is definitely one of those things that works. I know that from first-hand experience, I probably need to follow suit because I'm not contagious, but I am still not feeling the greatest.
Same here. But yeah, I'm like a new man after that. It like woke me up. I'm feeling good, ready to get into a mailbag podcast. But I don't know, Kory. We've talked to a lot of players and coaches this week. Before we get in the mailbag, what's the vibe here? What's the vibe after that loss?
I was telling a few people, the vibe here is not panic.
Mm-hmm.
I got the sense of talking to players after the game is that they were annoyed with their own performance.
Yeah.
They know that they can play better. They know that, hey, it's the NFL. You may lose a game, but they feel that was not a performance reflective of Detroit Lions football. And that's the biggest thing I took away from it. There's no panic here, but they're definitely not satisfied with the way they played, and they're just ready to get back on the field and showcase who they really are.
Yeah, there's not panic, and it is just one game, and that's what everybody is starting every sentence with. It's just one game, and it is just one game. But the common theme from Dan Campbell after the game in Green Bay to the players in the locker room to Thursday today back in Allen Park is like, the issues are fixable.
Yeah.
Like, the issues are fixable. So much of it seems like it was just communication-based. So, I mean, we've heard Dan Campbell say, maybe I put too much on their plate. We just heard John Morton literally talk to us 5 minutes ago and say, maybe I take some stuff off their plate, let them play a little faster. So that tells me maybe they're just – they're not dumbing it down. They're not simpling it out. But, like, with two new offensive linemen, a new offensive coordinator, he's also up in the booth. Maybe they're just streamlining some things, A lot of these plays are what they ran last year, and a lot of the players are still here. So it's like the coaches are kind of looking back at themselves like, did we put too much on them? Did we do this? So I think, none of this is what you want to hear, especially for a team with Super Bowl aspirations like the Lions. But, the common theme from players to coaches, you got to read between the lines a little bit, but everybody thinks this is very fixable. And after watching the tape back, I do tend to agree.
Yeah, it wasn't like – it was, first off, let's be clear. It was a bad performance.
Yeah, no excuses.
It's no excuses there. But, again, guys don't feel like the sky is falling. Like, even yesterday I was talking to Christian Mahogany, and he said, like, look, he took full accountability. He said, I have to play better. I know I can play better. And he said, I agree with Coach. These things are fixable. Now, he did say that, earlier in the week, Dan Campbell, alluded to the fact that, hey, maybe we could have played some of those guys, those younger guys like Christian Mahogany and Tate Ratledge more during the preseason. And even Christian Mahogany said, hey, I agree with Coach.
Yeah.
I feel like I could have used a little bit more reps, but hey, we're committed to getting this thing turned around and fixed. And again, it's not the end of the world, but there does have to be a sense of urgency heading into Sunday because we've talked about it. It's not just you don't want to start the season 0-2. You don't want to start your tenure 0-2 in a division going into what's going to be a tough Monday night football game against the Baltimore Ravens. That's going to start off a pretty tough gauntlet of a schedule.
Yeah, it is. And I've been just, we thought it has been a Ben Johnson heavy question week, but the coaches have done a good job of like, hey man, it's about us. It is about us. Ben knows us. We know Ben. We're going to have to find that middle ground to beat them there. And I just think when we say the issues are fixable, communication issues are fixable. Those are 100% fixable. It's like watching basketball tape back in the day where it'd be like, oh, crap, I missed that wide open guy. Oh, man, that guy ran the wrong play. I mean, you literally saw guys running the wrong play on the offensive line. Some of that has to do with a new center. Some of that has to do with two young guards. Some of that has to do with how electric it was at Lambeau last week. But another week of working at it. I mean, Taylor Decker said it plainly. He's like, we just literally need to get used to each other. Like, we're not going to have the same seamless communication that the group that just spent the last 4 years together did, especially with a new center in there. Like, he's like, it wasn't just Tate. I mean, you look at the play where Tate ran the wrong play. Guess what? I did too. And that's the team's longest tenure player saying that. So, yeah, I think when it comes down to communication issues and banking on this offensive line continuing to gel together, like if they're able to run the ball a little better, if Goff is able to sit in that pocket for like one more second, you see more than one 20-yard plus play on the day. You see more deep shots taken because there were a couple deep shots developing, but Goff didn't have the time to see them. The running game, the craziest stat, and I'll say it again, 16 of 22 rush attempts got hit behind the line of scrimmage. There's no excusing that, but that is fixable. Like, that is fixable.
And what in the 2.1 yards per carry, that is not Detroit Lions football. I mean, the Lions, they have to establish the run and be able to go ahead and set up the pass, the play action, which is Goff's bread and butter. And once they go ahead and get that fixed, I believe they'll be fine. I mean, it's not easy. First off, it's not easy replacing a Pro Bowl guard like Kevin Zeitler, but then you're talking about replacing, like you said, you paraphrase something, you said replacing one of the best centers of his era in Frank Ragnow.
Yes.
That's no easy task. And you just saw it with some of the breakdowns and coverages like, oh crap, who's protecting Goff in that situation?
And it not just Frank as the center, the guy snapping the ball. It's the guy diagnosing the blitzes. It's the guy getting the calls out to the other offensive line. Like, that's a big change in the operation. And, like, every single coach we've ever talked to about Frank Ragnow is like, damn, that guy's in here before me watching tape, figuring out the blitz is coming. Like, Graham's doing that too, but, like, that is a big change.
Yeah.
Like, that is your quarterback of the offensive line changing with two new guards at both of his sides. So we'll get in the mailbag after that. Bitter burnout on social media wants to know. Everyone wants to know if what happened in Green Bay was knocking off preseason rust, new coordinator growing pains, or if someone isn't cut out for their job. What, if anything, are you looking out for this week to help understand what exactly went wrong and where we need to go from here? I'm looking for growth from Mahogany and Ratledge. I'm looking from a little more creativity and pre-snap motion from Morton. You got a lot of toys to play around with. Move them around more. I mean, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, the third down killer. You got Sam Laporta, the play action perfect fit for Goff, and you got those two running backs, and you got the biggest decoy potentially in the NFL in Jameson Williams. Find ways to use that. Even if Jamo's not getting the ball, you can stretch the field with him. You can open things up. I don't care if the safety's sitting back at the 50-yard line. If Jamo runs right past him, he's got to pay attention to him. So there's just a lot of things they can do there. But the main two, honestly, even more than Morton, are those two guards.
Me, I'm looking for more out of I don't want to kind of piggyback off of you when it comes to that, but I am looking for a little bit more out of David Montgomery.
Yeah.
Just, again, I know that the run blocking was not the greatest, but I mean, I think that he has to be their mauler and getting those tough yards. So I want to see a little bit more out of him. I thought that Jahmyr Gibbs played okay.
Right.
But again, I don't like Jahmyr Gibbs getting 10 targets and 10 catches. So that's one thing that I definitely want to see. I know that they said that Goff took what was given to him. He had so it was a little bit of a dink and dunk game, had to go with his checkdowns. But, just to your point, you have too many weapons to not figure out a way to get the ball to these guys. It's a recipe, in my opinion, for disaster if you have Jahmyr Gibbs leading the team in receptions. Can he lead him?
Absolutely.
I mean, now if he catches a play and explodes, okay, it is what it is, but I don't think he should have 10 targets.
Yeah, and they really made it sound like the checkdowns were what Jared was instructed to do. Like, we don't want you forcing anything. This defense is not going to let you take downfield shots, so, take what they give you, and if it's not there, check it down. That is a power of Jahmyr Gibbs, and it just wasn't working. I mean, 10 catches, 31 yards, the fewest receiving yards in NFL history with double-digit catches in a single game. Montgomery had 4 for 18, too, so it just, nothing was breaking. Gibbs seemed to be slipping quite a bit in the second half, too. And, let's just be real, those were not fruitful looks. Even Jahmyr Gibbs was like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? He didn't say that. That's me saying that, oh, my God, where am I supposed to go? Make 8 guys miss? I don't know about that. So, and the one thing with Montgomery that you mentioned, I'm curious to see if he gets the first drive like he did a lot of times last year. Maybe punch him in the face, and then you bring in Gibbs and change things up on him. I don't know. That was just something that seemed to really work last year. But I think they're going through the process of like, holy crap, this Gibbs guy is awesome. He probably needs more touches.
I mean, he did finish last year as the NFL's touchdown king. Maximize the potential you can get out of him. Probably, I think they were trying to go, 60-40?
You would think so. I would
Yeah.
think so. Yeah. Limited to 19 rushing yards. There's not going to be many days where that happens. And it just brings me back to the offensive line. Nobody getting hit in the backfield every time they nearly touch the ball is going to have a good day. And that leads us into our next question from Lions for Life. Why didn't the Lions offense run more screens with their lack of communication, keeping golf clean? Because the couple of screens they ran, there was miscommunication.
Yeah.
And when you got miscommunication on the offensive line with a screen, Godspeed, it ain't working. It's just, somebody wasn't getting over, or Glasgow was slow getting over. There was just, it really was like, Sewell had his rough moments, Decker had his rough moments, but it was an especially rough day for the guards, for the center. And when that stuff's going on, the screens aren't going to be there. You're not going to be able to run the ball. You're not going to be able to have success on checkdowns when that stuff's going on. But yeah, that leads us into the other one. I'll let you lead this one off. Do you think the Lions would benefit from playing by keeping Derek Barnes on the field as much as they have? Do you want Derek Barnes out there more than Amik Robertson in the slot? Do you think they need that Sam rushing linebacker to help open things up?
I think they, at least right now, until they figure some things out as far as establishing pressure, I think they really do need to have Derek Barnes out there a little bit more. I mean, when he's in that position, he plays pretty well. I mean, I would have Amik out there, and in special packages if they're kind of getting carved up a little bit. But their issue was they can't get to the quarterback,
right?
And even Barnes just said like it was just really odd for them in that position that they haven't really been there like that before.
Yeah, so I don't know if the more nickel would benefit them after last week because, Love was getting the ball out quick, but the pressure really wasn't coming either way. So I don't know. I don't have any problems with that. Amik and the nickel packages, that's a good fit. But like when you are having trouble creating pressure and you got a hybrid type guy like Derek Barnes who's got some DN, got his Sam experience in his past, I think you should kind of tap into that. I would not change much from those rotations. So Meek is what a Meek is, but I think you paid Derek Barnes for a reason. Get him on the field. Let him pin his ears back. Work some packages where Barnes is rushing behind Hutchinson or he's rushing behind Davenport. Anything to direct a little attention from Aidan Hutchinson.
And I'm not going to reveal too much, but I think he was kind of leaning towards that when I was talking to him. Like he said, he was like, "You'll see. We're about to fix this."
Yeah, no, we'll see. Question from Greenville High School alum Aaron Perry, my good old buddy Aaron Perry. Shout out Aaron. Do you think for the offense that they need to get the run game going to open the passing game, or the passing game to open up the run game, or is it primarily an offensive line improves it? Then it will all improve. I think it's for the Lions. You need to have the threat of passing to open up the run. The Lions would love the run, but you need to get teams thinking otherwise. Like, open up the pass. Take a couple shots just to let them know we're not scared. We'll take that shot. We'll make you you pay attention to that. But mainly, it comes back to the offensive line for me.
Absolutely. I mean, it all starts there. If Goff has that protection, he's able to go ahead and get through his reads better. If they have that, if their offensive line plays better as far as their run blocking schemes, okay, those holes are opened up for Montgomery and Gibbs. I will say that when you do have weapons like Tesla and Jamison Williams, you can reverse the order. But, just two guys that one who has shown you an ability where, hey, I can go make a catch. If you just throw it up to me and go, I can go make a play in Tesla, or you got a guy like Jamison Williams that is probably scorching most DBs. Gotta start taking some chances.
Yeah, and it's tough when the Packers are playing the way they are, like keeping everything in front of them, playing in those, not blitzing that much and just letting the defensive line get after it. That's tough, but like, I don't know. I think, that's a tough one. I'll just say offensive line, because if the offensive line is better, then the running game is better. And if the offensive line is better, then the passing game is better, because that was the main takeaway I had is like, man, they did call up some shots. They just had no chance of getting them out. Moving on to Craig's question. How much leash does John Morton have regarding play calling duties? Year one, Campbell gave Lynn until the bye before taking over. Based on that experience, do you think he acts sooner if there are no signs of improvement?
We're here already?
Yeah, I know. This was my takeaway too.
I don't know how to answer that one. I mean, I'll put it to you like this. I think if First off, I think it's week one, so I think that if you really look back at the Lions over the past couple of years, even under Ben Johnson, I think that because they did not play the preseason, they got off to slow starts. I mean, last year they didn't really get clicking until like week 5, in my opinion, when they went ahead and blew out the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And the year before that, things started kind of slow. So I would say that if by the bye week, if this offense does not look good, I mean, Campbell has shown that he's not just going to continue to let things fall to the wayside. He will make a change, even if it's a tough one.
Mhm.
So I would say, I would say that let's wait until at least I would say at least week 3. After week 3, before we kind of have this discussion, and then we'll be able to have a better gauge on it. But I mean, I think Campbell has shown that if something is not going right and the season is in jeopardy, he'll make a move.
Yeah, it's one game, man. I don't want to
Yeah.
sound like a coach or a player either when
Yeah.
I say that, but it's one game. It's the first game with the new offensive coordinator, first game with the new offensive play caller, first game with the new guards, blah, 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 blah. First game with the play caller up in the booth for Goff, too. I think, and I said it after the post game, I took this myself. I think maybe I underestimated the growing pains that this offense was going to have to go through. And how long it lasts, I don't know. To answer your question, my gut tells me John Morton's going to have a pretty long leash. Dan Campbell loves this man. Dan Campbell believes in this man. And there is the belief that the players are still here, the offense is still here. You know this. Let's make it work.
Yeah.
Like that, and we've even compared it. Well, we've even brought up the Anthony Lynn situation too. That was a situation where it was Dan Campbell's first year as a head coach.
Yep.
He looked at that offense on the field and said, "This is not my offense." And he said, "Let me make this my offense." I think it would have to be pretty drastic for us to get there in year one.
Yeah.
But, big but, if this offense still is struggling, we're still talking about communication. We're still talking about no big plays. We're still talking about an inconsistent run game, and things are just not clicking, then, I mean, Dan Campbell has proven time and time again he will make the tough decisions. Aubrey Pleasant, Anthony Lynn, so on and so forth. I mean, if he feels something's not right, he's going to get it out of there. But I do think that there is some trust internally in John Morton. I know the outside world's freaking out right now. Just you need to see how they adjust, how they grow, because it is a long season. This is a great roster led by a great head coach. And if he's not seeing the adjustments that he sees that he needs, Dan's called plays before, and I wouldn't pass him to do it again if it got to that point. I'm just saying I think it would take quite longer than you guys would want to hear to get there, I would say.
And one thing that I've also seen from this team under Campbell is that when they had the type of performance that they had against the Packers, they don't have those performances 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
So I expect them. I don't know what it's going to look like,
Right.
but I expect that a lot of the issues that tripped them up in Green Bay, that should not trip them up on Sunday.
No, I agree. Campbell has been the master of the rebound. And if John Morton is on his same wavelength in that regard, then this has got a good chance of working. But if it comes out and we're seeing the same problems once again, then you can start asking more of these questions.
Yeah, I mean, just again, first game under new coordinator, first game with, 2 new guards playing in a hostile environment, divisional game. I mean, and then like you said, new center. I mean,
Yeah.
it was too many for me. This is why I felt, again, going back to where I think they should have played the preseason. I think that with that game in that place being the week 1 matchup, there were too many new moving parts for that to be their first go through.
Yeah. EBK wants to know, poor offensive day. Was the Packers defense just too good? I'm gonna honestly go with the Packers defense being good, because that was a perfectly executed game plan. Their defensive backs played it perfectly. Ring the bell, saying the line again. They kept everything in front of them. And guys like freaking Colby Wooden, Devontae Wyatt, Lucas Van Ness were destroying the interior. I mean, Lucas Van Ness and Colby Wooden, had great days for the Packers. If those guys don't have those days, or if the Lions offensive line doesn't have the tough day that they had, I think that game is a little bit differently. I'm not saying the Lions win it, but I think you see a little more life on offense just because it's like, holy crap, 2.1 rushing yards per attempt with just no chance to go. I think it was a perfectly executed day for the Packers, and the Lions stubbed their toe every single time they had a chance to cut that game to one score.
That was a poor offensive day because the Packers defense just put so much pressure on them, so much, the way they got their schemes disguised up, it just frustrated them. So, I mean, yeah, it was a poor offensive day, but you can't take anything away from Green Bay. I mean, what was that? 9 quarterback hits, 4 sacks.
Yeah,
I mean,
a lot of pressure.
That was a lot of pressure. And
I think I saw one of my favorite tweets of the week was from Jeff Risdon and said, the Lions came to play, but the Packers came ready to play the Lions. And I think
that's great.
And when I saw that right after I stopped watching my first rewatch of the All-22, and I was like, yeah, that's a good takeaway. All right, Andy Belfour. I'm a believer that things will turn around, but hypothetically, if Graham struggles or gets hurt and it's more than short term, what is their first move at center? Kingsley? Tristan Colon? At what point do they go to Tate, if at all? I've asked myself this question quite a lot. I think if Colon is healthy, he could get a shot. I don't know if Kingsley's there. Maybe I'm wrong. He's on the main roster. I do believe Tate is their long-term center, but I don't think they're trying to put him in there this year.
I agree with that. I believe that. But I also have another kind of like fleeting thought about that. I think that if Graham continues to struggle, I would not be shocked if the Lions try to make a trade and see what's out there. I don't know who they can get, but I mean, I think that if I don't know, I just don't know if Kingsley or Cologne would be the answer or not,
right?
Because I mean, I think that Graham and the relationship that he has with Goff, I mean, that's probably as strong as it's going to get with anybody on this, as far as that position. So if it's not working out with those guys, I mean, with Graham and Goff, I could see a situation where, hey, maybe, Brad is looking out and seeing what's out there. I mean, I just don't believe that either Kingsley or Cologne would get the shot if they decide to make a move.
Yeah, it's tough. It's one of the, like we said, it's one of the main offseason concerns coming to light was how Graham finished last season, banged up and struggling. I mean, honestly, if you're looking for my rankings on the interior offensive line, I put Graham and Mahogany as the two worst pieces of that puzzle in Green Bay that really need to get it together and get on the right track, because I there's just this feeling in my gut that like they have kicked the Tate at center thing down to next year.
Yeah.
I think that will be a full offseason focus after the season ends. I think they have fully committed to him being right guard next to Penei Sewell. And there were some things from Tate that I liked that I saw watching it back. There were some things that John Morton liked. He really thought, like, I think this kid's going to be fine. I'm trusting what I saw in training camp over what I saw in Green Bay. Because most of Tate's mess ups were missed assignments, miscommunications, getting the wrong play, whatever, what have you. I mean, another reason I'm going to go back to that. Was it a bad offensive day for the Lions? Was it a good defensive day for the Packers? The Packers smelled blood in the water.
Yeah.
Those miscommunication issues on the offensive line. The second Graham would put his head down, they're moving pieces around like crazy. And that messes with the Lions even more, especially when you got one side of the line getting one call and the other side of the line getting the other. So, yeah, a lot of pressure on Graham to bring it together, because not only is he the center of a very intricate offense, he is replacing Frank Ragnow, the master of diagnosing.
Which is not a tough thing, which is not an easy thing to do. So I don't know. I think Graham is gonna get it together. I think it was just a rough day in the office for him.
Yeah.
But I mean, if he doesn't, I do not see a situation where they would go to Tate, because I believe that if they felt that Tate was capable of doing this job out the gate, I think they would have went ahead and went with him.
Yeah, one last offensive line question. There were a lot of those. Eric Masson wants to know if it would be Awashika going in for Tate if his mess-ups keep happening, the missed assignments, running into Graham, getting the wrong play. Hopefully it's just first game jitters, he says. I'll say this. If Awashika's going into the starting lineup for anybody right now, to me it's Mahogany. I think Tate's issues are correctable. I think maybe it was first game jitters. Maybe it was the miscommunication, not being on the same page with the center, not knowing what to do when the line switched after you finally get the call in and stuff like that. I think those are and we got a couple questions like what's easiest to fix. The communication on the offensive line is easiest to fix. It's not simple, but I think they can do it. And it really is just getting used to each other. making sure. Dan Campbell said it simply. I mean, it's crazy we're saying this. Just be louder. just be louder. Jared took ownership of that too. He's like, before I snap the ball, I got to make sure everybody's got it. So I'll just say that. I think Mahogany is not on the hot seat yet, but if there were a hot seat for Awashika to go in, I think it would be for Christian Mahogany.
I'm just going to take you back and lay on you with that one.
All right, we'll go from New Millennium. Hutch was consistently double-teamed last week and was pretty quiet on the stat sheet. Is the solution as simple as other people winning one-on-one, or is it likely the pass scheme, rush scheme needs work? What have they been telling us all week? Win your one-on-ones, right?
Win your one-on-ones.
And I asked Kelvin Shepard this question specifically. Yes. Like, hey, Hutch said he got 2 or 3 one-on-one opportunities in 46 snaps against the Packers. Is it really as simple as just winning your one-on-ones? And he said, well, there's 10 other guys on the field, and if Hutch is getting attention from 2 or 3 of them, fill in the blanks. So, I don't know, man. What's the answer? I mean, Dan Campbell thinks it'll be from the interior. Who gives you the most optimism that somebody else can create some pass rush for the Lions?
Who? On that line, who gives me the most optimism? You know what? That's tough for me to say. I do think that from the interior pass rush, I think that DJ Reader's going to play a lot better this week. And on the outside, I mean, I'm waiting on that Marcus Davenport that we saw in camp to show up. Again, it's game 1, but I believe that he will be able to go. I believe that as long as we get that interior pass rush from Breeder going, I believe that, if Hutch is tied up, I mean, I don't think they're going to be able to keep Davenport as well.
Yeah, and even Shep said, like, the blitzes didn't work. Like, Hutchinson was the only defender with multiple pressures, getting double-teamed for most of the game. That speaks to how good he is, but also how effective that Packers offensive plan was, too, because, I mean, the blitzes weren't getting home. Al-Quadin Muhammad played only 7 snaps and had a pressure. But, yeah, where was Marcus Davenport? Where was that guy we saw?
Yeah, he was non-existent.
Yeah, and that's another question we have is, like, if Hutch is getting double-teamed, shouldn't that open up Davenport a bit more? Yeah. I mean, can you name one play that you can remember from Davenport in that game?
I can't.
And the craziest stat from the game is that Jake Bates had more tackles than Aidan Hutchinson.
That's not good. And again, let's set the injury thing aside. Don't even bring it. I'm not even gonna bring it up for real. But when you put all the faith in all your marbles and saying that, hey, we're good with Marcus Davenport, and then, like you said, with Hutch being double teamed and he doesn't get home, that brings the questions to the fans like, okay, how come you didn't take getting this pass rush addressed more seriously in free agency and in the draft? I mean, you got Hassanin late, but I mean, hey, why not use some of those earlier picks to go add more talent? I mean, I understand that they have faith in their players and the guys they have in the room, but if you get multiple showings of not really showings because he didn't show much, but you get multiple performances of what Davenport had on Sunday, that's gonna be a big concern for them moving down the line.
Yeah, I think my answer is Derek Barnes, blitz more. Brian Branch, need you blitzing more. Brian Branch might be the best blitzing defensive back in the league, at least that these eyes have seen. Use that man more. Use Barnes more because it's not coming from anyone on that defensive line right now other than Hutchinson. Maybe Tyleik Williams does have that other thing in his tank. He's a rookie, though. DJ Reader, that's an old-school nose tackle. Like, he's going to eat double teams and clog lanes, but, like, that's not someone you should be counting on to create interior quarterback pressure. And it's just like, if Davenport was enough to throw on the other side of Hutch, he needs to be enough. Like, if he's getting one-on-ones, he's got to win those one-on-ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hutch ain't getting one-on-ones.
He's not at all. I mean, because of the caliber, like Shep said, the caliber of player he is. Like, look, who said Nick Bosa.
Yeah,
I mean, he's getting double teamed. Like, how many of those guys are successful when they're getting double teamed?
Yeah,
this is supposed to free up. This is supposed to be like, okay, Davenport, this is your time to shine.
And I asked Hutch yesterday, like, what do you learn? Like, how can you find ways to win while getting double teams and chipped? Shout out Josh Jacobs for his chip block and Hutchinson, too. That was effective. I asked him how, and he just said, I got to win my one-on-ones. And I'm like, well, you're only getting 2 or 3 a game. Got to win my one-on-ones. So, like, that is the life Hutchinson is in. And, man, when I asked Shepard that question today, I thought he was going to come down and hit me. Not out of anger, but just like he was like,
Hey, I said that he was. I said that
Fired up.
he was respectfully intense today.
It was respectful. It was like, man, he's ready to hit somebody right now, and he just was like, man, there's 10 other guys on the field. Hutch is that type of capable player. We know he's going to get double teamed and chipped like that. We need other guys to step up. And to me, that's like, you got to manufacture some pressure. That's that line that we always used to say with AG. You got a guy like Branch, send him home some. Mm-hmm. You got a guy like Derek Barnes, send him home some. I don't care where it's coming from. You gotta find the right blitzes that work, because you can't just sit back and rely on Davenport or Hutchinson to beat the world.
Yeah,
it's teams see that. I mean, teams see the weakness that we saw all offseason is like, man, that kind of got like a one-trick pony on the edge. And by that, I just mean just Hutchinson. I'm not calling him a one-trick pony.
It's one of those things where the fans' concerns are it's early. It's still early, but it's one of those things when you see a performance like that, it validates all of the concerns the fans had about the team not addressing the pass rush through free agency, that the way that they should have. Because, I mean, it's one – and it's also, too, you can also say, hey, maybe Brad is falling in love with his guys a little bit too much, the guys that he decided to bring back. Like, okay, Davenport hasn't played, only played 6 games over 2 years. What did you really see from him? We need to bring him back. Why not go out there and go look on the open market and see, get some guys? It's going to get louder if a Zadarius Smith plays well when the Eagles play. If he plays well, it's going to get, even if the Lions win, it's going to get real loud if he plays well. Insert any of these guys that were available in the offseason. If they play well on off the edge, I don't know.
Yeah, you need more from Davenport. You need to see more of Al-Quadin Muhammad. You need to see more blitzes from Barnes. You need to see more blitzes from Branch, and you need to bring out the healing potion for Aleem McNeil.
That's the part. That's where I was going to brain fart at. Thank you for saying that, because I think not having Aleem McNeil next to DJ Reader changes a lot of things.
Because if you can turn Tyleek into a rotational guy as a rookie, that's a very good problem. Tyleek, I think, is going to be a good pro. The Lions love his pass rushing potential, but it's potential. It's potential. It is potential. It's not there yet. It's not there right now. It's not going to be there in a couple of weeks. You get Aleem back in the middle of that line. You can move those pieces around, because that's the one defense I've seen of, they only have 3 edge rushers, but they like to play those big guys on the outside. It's like, they don't got a lot of them big guys right now. And while I like Mekhi Wingo as a player, he ain't putting a Superman cape on and changing those problems.
Nope.
Yeah, the answer is you need guys like Davenport. You need guys like Muhammad. You need guys like Barnes to help manufacture ways to take attention off of Hutch.
How much do you think things would change also, too, just as a side? How much do you think things would change also when they can get Josh Pascal back into the mix?
I mean, yeah, it gives them another guy to kick inside. It gives them another guy to play on the outside, and you can put Hutchinson on the inside. You can put Davenport on the inside and do all the things they want to do. But that's going to be another 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I know Pascal hasn't been the big home run second-round pick that many hoped for, but, they do like his inside-outside versatility and what he brings to the run game. And if you can put him on the edge and you can kick Hutchinson inside, good luck stopping Hutchinson against a guard. I don't care if you try to double-team him. He's getting through it. And that's what you saw a lot of last year. So, yeah, I'm not worried about Hutch. Obviously, you want to see a little more, but, the fact that he still led the team in pressures and estimates he only had 2 or 3 one-on-one looks, not bad. You got to give credit to the Packers for getting the ball out quick, too. That leads us into a question from Kirk. The Bears, and particularly Caleb Williams, looked good last week. Lions have struggled with QBs that can run. Do you think the current personnel will be able to contain him? Blah, 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 especially given the difficulties getting pressure and the high blitz rate we seem addicted to even when it's not working. I think that plays to the Lions' advantage. Love was getting the ball out quick. They had a perfect plan for Hutchinson. If you get Williams freestyling in that backfield, sure, he's harder to take down, but you're giving Aidan Hutchinson more time to get there. You're giving guys like Barnes and Davenport and name someone. You're just giving them more time. And I think if the Lions would have had a little more time with Love in the pocket last week, you would have seen more, obviously. So I think that play style does play into the hands of, sure, Caleb can make a play, but you're also giving Aidan Hutchinson more time to get to you.
Giving Aidan Hutchinson more time to get to you is never a good thing. But also, too, I think Caleb Williams looked good, the
for two
first
quarters.
quarter and a couple minutes in the second, because I believe he started the game 10 of 10. And that was probably the stuff they had scripted out the gate.
Yeah.
But as the game went on, I think he finished like 11 of 24, if I'm not mistaken.
The Ben Johnson third quarter was still alive and well.
So it was he did not play that well. And also, Caleb Williams can get outside the pocket. We know that when quarterbacks can do that, it does frustrate the Lions. But if just me, I trust Jordan Love as a decision maker with the ball more than I trust Caleb Williams as a decision maker. So, I mean, if he starts freestyling and the Lions are able to, go ahead and get back there and frustrate them, I think that they'll be just fine, because I just don't see Caleb Williams as a great decision maker. Now, he did kind of come alive last year towards the end of that one game in Ford Field, but I mean, that was more so when, I think kind of like a desperation type act.
Right. Love stayed in the pocket, got it out quick. They devoted a ton of resources to Hutchinson. That's probably a plan a lot of teams are going to try to replicate. That's not really Caleb Williams' MO. Could play into the Lions' hands a little bit. We will see. The Lions are 0-1. The Bears are 0-1. We're at Ford Field this weekend, Sunday, 1 p.m. One of 5 Sunday 1 p.m. home games this year. Enjoy them while you get them.
I am. Hopefully I have a lot more energy by then, because I am.
The sickness is going through Allen Park pretty hard. There were a couple players hey, stay away. But they're not feeling good. So there's a bug going around right now. You saw Tesla had it last week.
That must be what it is, because I'm I am not. My head is a lot of pressure.
No, I feel you. I mean, I just had to take 3 cough breaks. My oil of oregano was wearing off. We're going to get out of here. Prediction. Kory, what's up? Hit me.
I'm going Lions win. I think that it's going to be you know what? Give me 30-14 Lions.
Wow.
I think that home opener, they had a stinker in Green Bay. They have to come out and let it be known, hey, the NFC North still runs through Detroit.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to go ahead. I think the run game is going to be a lot better than what it was last week. And then that's going to be able to go ahead and let Goff get into his bread and butter. I think that we're going to see Amon-Ra St. Brown step up. I mean, he didn't play bad per se last game, but I think he's going to be one of those guys that you get involved. Jameson Williams, I mean, they got to figure out a way to get at least a couple of home run balls in him. Yep. And I think that they will. And I also think that just as far as the defense, Kelvin Shepard with the wrestling promo he cut today, I think that he's going to be able to. He said he's already held the guys accountable. I believe that they're going to be able to go ahead and figure out ways to get home, because, I mean, to me, the Bears' offensive line didn't look that great.
Yeah. On
Monday night. I mean, they look good. They look all right, but they didn't look that great. So, it's going to be a lot on Caleb Williams. Their rushing attack did not look good. I think they had Swift had 3.1 yards per carry.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that the Lions defensive line actually did do well against the Packers. They were good against the run.
Defense got a lot better as the game went on.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be a sizable win, 30-14.
All right, give me the Lions, 24-17. I think the offense still has some growing pains. I think the offensive line looks better, but I'm going with the Lions because I think the defense matches up really well in this game. And the Packers don't have the offensive tackles, the Bears don't have the offensive tackles that the Packers do, at least experience-wise. They were still figuring out who their offensive tackles were coming out of training camp. That's very good news for Aidan Hutchinson. Also very good news for Aidan Hutchinson is that DeAndre Swift as a blocker in the backfield, no.
Barbecue chicken.
Yeah, exactly. Barbecue chicken. Give me Lions 24-17. I don't think the offense is where you want to see it yet, but I think the defense builds off of what they were able to do after a couple of those rough moments and giving up a couple of explosives in Green Bay, because they really did. They kept giving the offense here's a chance, until it went down too late and the Packers started at the 38 Detroit yard line after that punt from their own end zone. But the defense, man, I think they can build off what they finished last week. So Lions get back on the win board. We're both picking them again. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I
got good feelings.
Me too. And also too, as part of that 30-14, I believe one of them is going to be a pick six.
Oh, all right. Yeah, Brian Branch almost had one last week. He made that mistake. He's ready to get back, ripping the helmet off that guy. He's owned that. Campbell has owned that. They've had chats. Brian Branch is going to come out fired up.
Yeah.
And I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to come out with his freaking hair on fire because he don't want to lose to his former coach.
Not at all. I mean, all of those guys have shared their respect for Ben Johnson.
Of course.
But they've also let it be known.
You got that C on your hat.
They're not trying to lose.
No. So that's it for us. We'll talk to you after the game on Sunday. And keep reading us at MLive.com/Lions. And we are your Dungeon of Doom podcast.